Yo, Colleen, you there? Are you at home right now?
Yeah, I'm here. Why do you ask? And besides, if you're home, you could always just, you know, talk to me in person. Why are you texting me?
Because I figured you had started on one of your usual lectures if I talked to you in person. Looks like I was right. So anyway, where's my dinner?
I didn't make any for you? You told me yourself this morning that you were going to be out late and didn't need any dinner. So yeah, I just made enough for myself.
Oh my god, you are worthless. Newsflash, plans change sometimes, Colleen. Seriously? Only making enough for yourself? No leftovers? Not even a light snack for later? How selfish can you get?
Why are you chewing me out by a text like this? And if you can chew me out by a text like this, couldn't you have texted me that your plans changed?
If you could think of someone other than yourself for a change, I wouldn't need to text you at all.
Harry, what has gotten into you lately? Why are you so angry at me? You never used to be like this. It's like you're a completely different person.
I'm me! The same me as I've always been. And who the hell are you?
Whatever. I really don't feel like talking anymore about this right now.
Oh, so you're gonna run away from me, huh? Is that what this relationship is to you? You think you can just walk away from your responsibilities to me whenever you feel like it?
Look, it's clear that you're in a bad mood. I'm tired and I don't feel like getting into fight. I don't know if it's stress from work or you're not even feeling well or whatever, but let's just call it a night and we can talk again in the morning when we're both feeling better, okay?
Yeah, sure. Fine. Whatever.
I'm concerned about you though, okay? If there's something on your mind, I wish you would just come out and talk to me about it. And as for dinner, there's a bit of soup left over in the fridge and some fried chicken in the freezer. And if none of that sounds good, you can go to whatever restaurant you want and order a takeout.
Yeah, I'll just do whatever.
Hey Mom, did you hear that? It sounded like Dad just came home. Yeah, he did. He texted me asking me where his dinner was. That's weird. I remember him saying this morning that he'd be working late tonight and that he'd get something for himself. Yeah, and when I reminded him of that, he told me that good wives can somehow magically read their husbands' minds and know their plans changed or something to that effect. What is wrong with him? Seriously, who does he think he is? I swear he makes me so mad sometimes. It's okay, Sienna. Calm down. Remember, he's still your father, okay? You don't have to stand up for him like this, Mom. I'm on your side. What do you mean, Sienna? I know everything, Mom. Everything? I know why Dad is coming home late all the time. I know why he's been treating you so terribly lately. I know, Mom, everything. I guess you're more observant than I gave you credit for. I'm sorry about all of this, Sienna. It's just, well, I figured that I could wait to deal with everything until you had graduated from high school. But I guess maybe I was wrong to do that. You don't need to worry about me, Mom. Besides, I already have a job lined up for me after I graduate. Not to mention, my graduation is only 3 months away. If there's anything at all I can help you out, Mom, I want to do it. Let me help you. Thank you, sweetheart. I guess if you would really mean that, then I have no reason to keep on bearing with this anymore, do I? None at all. Go get him, Mom. All right. I'm gonna have to give a good deal of thought as to what my next plan of action is, though. We'll talk more later. Hey, Dad. Are you there? Didn't you get a message from Mom just now? It's an emergency, Dad. You need to answer the phone. Mom was taken to the first district hospital in an ambulance. My high school graduation ceremony was today. Mom came, but I was talking to my friends, so she left ahead of me. When I got home, she was collapsed on the kitchen floor. She wasn't responding, so I called an ambulance to take her to the hospital. She still hasn't woken up. I know that you guys are heading toward a divorce, but as of now, you're still husband and wife, aren't you? So please, Dad, please. Please come to the first district hospital right away and see Mom.
Sierra, listen to this. You'll never believe it. I just got the best news I've gotten probably my entire life. It's too good to be true. Get this. My wife just got hauled away to the hospital. Apparently she's totally unresponsive. But wait, it keeps getting better. She's been saying that she wouldn't agree to a divorce unless I pay her a massive settlement, right? Well, I just went home and looked through my wife's files, and guess what? I found the divorce agreement she'd been working on, and she already signed it. This is my chance. I can make a few edits, submit this to the courthouse, and boom! I'm divorced on my terms, and we can get married. So, yeah, I'm gonna head over to the courthouse right now while my wife is still unconscious. And then tomorrow, you and me can head to the very same courthouse, say our vows, and be together forever. Gosh damn it. I'm sorry, Sierra. So it turned out the divorce agreement I found still needed my wife's signature in a few places. According to the clerk, any edits made after the document was printed needs to be signed and dated by both parties. And, of course, since my wife is currently a vegetable, she can't sign them. And if I tried to forge her signature, the clerk would probably get really suspicious. I'd hate for our marital bliss to be interrupted by some stupid forgery charge or whatever, so I decided it would be best to put off submitting the divorce papers for now. I'm really sorry, babe. Could you please just wait a little bit longer for me? Hey, Sierra, are you there? You haven't responded to any of my messages for the last 10 days. Is something the matter? Man, I bet you're still upset about me getting your hopes up with the divorce agreement thing last week. I really screwed up, didn't I? I'm so sorry, Sierra. I should have talked to my lawyer before making any moves. He could have told me that any edits have to be signed. Then I wouldn't have wasted that trip out to the courthouse. But let's look at the bright side. My wife is still in a persistent vegetative state. Ha 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 ha! At this rate, I'll be able to pull the plug on our life support within a few weeks. And then when that happens, there'll be nothing keeping us apart. We can finally be together. Just the three of us. You, me, and the baby. Oh, I'm so excited. I can barely sleep at night.
The baby? That's interesting.
Sierra, there you finally are. I've wanted to talk to you so bad.
You're the absolute lowest form of life on the planet, Dad.
Wait, Dad?
You've been sending message after message, each one more disgustingly immoral than the last.
What's going on? Who is this?
If I recall correctly, your mistress is your 26-year-old secretary at your office, Sierra something or other, right, Dad? I guess you're either too careless or too stupid to tell the difference between an R and an N on your phone, huh? Get some reading glasses, you old geezer.
Oh no. Sienna, this is your number?
You just now noticed this? It's been weeks.
Well, in my defense, your numbers are right next to each other in my contacts, so...
Ugh, how could you be so stupid? Honestly, it's impressive how dense you are. And this wasn't even the first time. You've been sending me messages for her just about once a week for the last few years.
Shoot, I did?
Yeah, you moron. That's how I learned about your affair, you lying, backstabbing creep.
Oh boy, this is bad.
And other than the whole betraying your family part, the worst part is how cringeworthy your texts are. You're old, Dad. Stop trying to talk like a Gen Zer.
Hey! That is no way to talk to your father, young lady.
Oh, now you want to be my father? Now you want to be a family man? You heard that your wife of more than 20 years and the mother of your daughter was in a coma. And the first thing you do is send a celebratory message to your mistress? You're the most miserable excuse for a father I have ever heard of.
Young lady, you will not talk to me that way.
Don't young lady me, you philandering sack of cow manure.
Hey! I said stop that! Anyway, if you're thinking about your future at all, you might want to reconsider whose side you're taking in this, Sienna.
Exactly what is that supposed to mean?
Think about it. What good is your mother to you? She works part-time. Now, if you stick with me, I can take care of you. You know I make a pretty decent salary, right? If you can convince a judge to give me custody of you, the potential benefits would be massive. Obviously, I'm not going to let you live with us, but I can put you up in a nice studio apartment in a good part of town. I'll pay your rent, utilities, all of that. You won't want for anything. So, what do you say, daughter?
You know, you were right the other day. You really should pay more attention to your lawyer. I mean that since I'm 18, neither of you gets custody of me. I'm an adult, Dad. Didn't you realize that? Me, in fact, you can't get custody of me at all. And even if that wasn't the case, I've already got a job lined up for after I graduate, so I don't need you for anything.
A job?
And when I explained the situation between you and Mom to my company, they said they're gonna let her move with me into company housing rent-free.
Wow.
In other words, neither I nor Mom need your help of some creepy old geezer like you.
Aren't you forgetting something? Your mother's in a coma, a persistent vegetative state. Even if she ever wakes up, which she probably won't, she's gonna need consistent care for the rest of her life. You'll be all on your own to support her.
Who told you she was in a persistent vegetative state? Not me. Mom was already awake, you oblivious buffoon.
What? She is?
I was understandably surprised to come home and find Mom unconscious on the floor, but she had just had a bit of an episode caused by stress. I guess she got dizzy, hit her head on something and fell down. So she ended up having to get a few stitches, but that's all. She had a CAT scan and the results came back today saying she's completely fine with no lingering negative effects from the fall. Now she just needs to rest for a while.
Oh, well, that's great news. Now that she's awake, I can finally get her to sign the divorce papers. I'll be over there in a bit.
Oh, and just so you don't go getting any ideas, if you come down here, there's no way you're getting into the room to see her.
Why not?
Whoa, you really think you're smooth, don't you? We know about your plan to edit the agreement. The courthouse clerk called Mom's lawyer about you trying to submit the agreement after making handwritten addition to it.
Oh, come on. Why would she do that?
Add another thing. You haven't heard from your mistress for the last few weeks or so, have you? Would you like to know why?
Did you have something to do with this? What did you do? Tell me right now.
Mom hired a private detective to keep tabs on your precious little Sierra, and guess what he found out? It turns out your precious little Sierra wasn't just messing around with you.
That can't be! You're lying!
So after Mom's lawyer got the report from the private detective, she had a little chat with Sierra, and her parents agreed to foot the bill for her share of the settlement for your affair, but her parents only did so on the condition that she broke things off with you.
This can't be happening. But wait, what about our baby? Sierra is 6 months pregnant.
Yeah, about that. I'm not familiar with all the details, but you might want to reconsider using the word our regarding that baby.
Huh? But that means...
Let me think. What her words were? Something like, I thought I made it clear from the start of our fling that it was just that, a fling. I was just bored and wanted a little excitement.
She said that?
Once I got pregnant with my real boyfriend's baby, I told him I couldn't see him anymore and broke things off with him. So imagine my shock when he started talking about getting married to me all of a sudden. And now his wife found out about it, so I have to pay damages. This is the worst. Not to mention, once my boyfriend found out about it, he dumped me. So now, thanks to that geezer, I'm stuck being a single mother. Just wonderful. I can give you the recording of that conversation if you want. It's pretty funny.
No. No, 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 no! This can't be true. Tell me you're lying.
Well, if I told you that, I'd be lying so. Oh, and by the way, I have a message from Mom.
Is she gonna give me a second chance? I'll do anything. Anything. I mean it. I'll do better this time. I can change. It was a terrible mistake. I was a fool.
From now on, all of our communications will go through my lawyer. I'll see you in court. And here's a message from me. After today, you will never speak to your daughter again for the rest of your life.
Sienna, you can't do this to me. I'm your father.
Not anymore. You're not. You're just some old geezer that I used to know. Goodbye.
Oh, come on. You can at least be polite when you say goodbye to me.
Maybe you should have thought about this potential this would happen when you were sneaking around with another woman around Mom's back. I'm blocking your number now. I figured that even all of that still wouldn't get the point through my dad. So I called my uncle, his older brother, and explained what happened. A short while later, my uncle messaged me back and said he, quote, took care of him. Kind of spooky, but hey, problem solved. He tried to fight paying the settlement to Mom, saying he was totally broke, but then Mom's lawyer looked into his finances. He apparently had just enough to pay off his settlement, so that was all seized and paid out to my mom immediately. They also found that he'd withdrawn a large portion of Mom and Dad's mutual savings account just before the divorce. So the judge ordered all of that to be paid back as well. Once that was finished, my parents' divorce was officially finalized. After I told my uncle about my dad trying to get out of paying the settlement, he messaged me back saying, looks like he needs another lesson. Should I stop telling my uncle things? Nah. His company found out about his escapades too, and promptly fired him. Having lost his family and his job, I wonder what he's gonna do now. Meh, it's not really any of my problem. A friend of mine said they saw him getting on a bus heading out of town. Maybe he'll try and start over. But at this age, good luck with that.
Hey, Tim. Please, enough already.
What are you on about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Why'd you tell the entire class that I'm not planning on going to college? Almost everyone at our school is gonna go on to college, so I asked you to keep it quiet. But today, everyone in class was talking about it.
It's not that you don't plan on going to college, it's that you can't go on to college, right? We all know that your family is too poor to be able to afford college tuition.
That's got nothing to do with any of you. Anyway, don't just go around telling people about my private matters.
Parents who are too poor to even send their kid to college shouldn't have kids in the first place. Talk about having no foresight. It's families like yours who can't make enough money on their own and then go crying to the government for support. And then it's up to families like mine who pay all these insane taxes to end up footing your bill. We always end up having to clean up your messes and get you out of situations you got yourselves into.
You're going too far with that. It's not like my family was always poor. My dad died 8 years ago. Then my brother got really sick around 5 years ago. His hospital bills ended up costing us an arm and a leg. A lot of things happened, okay? Sure, now my family isn't as well off as most others, especially our classmates. But that doesn't mean you can just go around talking like that.
This isn't the Misfortune Olympics. You don't need to start talking about all that. Poor people sure like to do that, don't they? Are you hoping people who hear that will feel some sympathy for you? The world isn't as kind as you think.
That's not what I'm trying to do. But you're making fun of my parents, saying that they have no foresight or don't know how to plan ahead. Of course I can't just let that rest.
Yeah, whatever. Say what you like. It doesn't matter what you say or what excuses you try to make. Everyone knows how poor your family is. Oh, and I also told everyone that your family is sending you off to work at one of your relatives' companies too. You know, because why not?
They're not sending me off anywhere. I just got a normal job there like anywhere else. Stop spreading lies and rumors. You keep doing that even about small things like my clothes. I heard you told people that I never wash my uniform and just wear it as if every day.
That's because your uniform is dirty and gross. Ugh, I guess poor people don't even wash their clothes. Am I wrong?
Of course I wash them. My clothes are just a little old because I got them from an older student who didn't need them anymore.
Oh, so you wear other people's hand-me-downs? That's even worse! Ugh, I'd literally rather die than have to wear something like that. Imagine having to wear clothes stained with other people's sweat. That's gross.
Then you sent a photo of me covered in grass in the schoolyard to the class group chat. Not only that, you told everyone that I was taking the grass home to eat it for dinner. Since then, people keep leaving grass and weeds on my desk at school.
That's just everyone showing their kindness. Aren't you lucky? Now you won't have to worry about having enough to eat for dinner.
Stop messing around. Seriously, just enough already. I haven't done anything to you. Just leave me alone. If you keep it up, I'll have to tell the teachers.
I guess this is where we part ways, huh? Kinda sad, really.
I couldn't be happier.
Oh, come on. What, are you angry just because I teased you a little? You really need to learn to take a joke.
Because of you, I had a terrible time in high school. How many times did you make fun of me for being poor?
That happens all the time. A lot of people joke about that. It's nothing personal. It's true anyway. It's not like I made it up.
Anyway, I don't want anything more to do with you.
In that case, you can relax. It's not like there will be any reason for us to meet again anyway. You're off to work at some small-time company that could fail at any second. And I'm going to a famous private university. And after I graduate, it's a well-established company and a straight road to becoming a big shot for me. Good luck with your miserable life.
You have no idea how my life is gonna turn out. I'm gonna work hard and have a better, happier life than you.
You're really an idiot, aren't you? What matters is your education and connections, not hard work. And the two of us are from completely different worlds. There's no chance our paths will cross again from here on. We'll never have to see each other again.
I hope so. No, I'm praying for it.
Hey! It's been a while since we saw each other. What, has it been since we graduated high school? You've really surprised me. You took one look at my face and seemed lost for words.
I was. I never expected to meet you there. Sorry if I was rude before. I was in a hurry, so I couldn't stay and talk.
Did you end up getting a late entrance into college or anything after we last met? So you're really just out here with a high school diploma. Man, poor people really are stupid. There are other ways of getting into college, right? Like deferred pathways or even community college programs. You should have thought about taking one of those options to help you escape from the lower classes.
I mean, I guess I could have done that.
And what were you wearing earlier anyway? Worn out work clothes that look like they were covered in paint? You look even more ragged than you used to. Seeing you like that reminded me of the gross uniform you used to wear in high school. You were always wearing such dirty clothes.
There's a reason I was wearing those clothes. But what about you? Did you become a big shot yet like you said you would?
Of course I did. Or close enough. Tomorrow's my first day of my new job at a great company. And what do? Are you homeless or something? If that's the case, you want me to lend you some money?
Starting a new job? You're coming to my company?
Wait, what?
I've been so busy I completely forgot. I remember HR telling me that you were hired. I took a look at your CV.
Wait, what? What are you on about? Did you lose your mind in the years since we last met? If you're the CEO, why are you wearing those clothes?
That's because I was on my way back from helping do some painting at a nearby orphanage.
Painting? Why would you be doing that?
My company has a lot of different initiatives in the company to help kids from poor families and those with no place to go. Painting and helping with artwork is one of them. The point is to give the kids an opportunity to experience art and help them cultivate their imaginations. Today we had an event where a lot of investors volunteered to help out, so of course I also joined in. All of us helped the kids paint a massive picture of a dinosaur. It was pretty fun. My clothes did get completely covered in paint though.
So what, your company is trying to give back to society? What's the point of that?
Look, Tim. The company that you're gonna start working at tomorrow is managed by me.
There's just no way that's true. After high school, you were just going off to work at some small-time business. And now you're trying to tell me that you're a CEO?
I worked hard at that so-called small-time business. And now it has grown to be the company that you start at tomorrow.
Get real! I know that's not true. First of all, the name of the company is completely different from the one you went to work at.
After my uncle retired and appointed me the CEO, I changed the name of the company. My uncle didn't have any kids of his own, so he decided to pass the company on to me. At that time, the performance of the company was improving, so I decided to also expand the scope of what we do and completely rehaul the name and appearance of the office too. So along with that, I changed the name to give the company a new start, so to speak. But if you applied for this job, you should have seen the website. The CEO's name is clearly written there. You didn't realize? I thought you saw my name, so I decided to apply here.
Of course I saw the website. But your last name isn't the same as it was in high school.
Oh, that's right. My mom got remarried, so my last name changed because of that. But even so, if you went through the site, my photo should have come up at some point. I guess you didn't really look into the company too much. Usually an applicant tries to find out as much as they can about the job they're applying for. But whatever. HR said that they will hire you, so that's that.
You weren't the one who processed my application then?
The company has gotten too big for me to look over every applicant personally. I mostly leave that up to HR now. Of course, once they've chosen a candidate, I still look into them myself. By the way, I heard a lot about you from HR. They said that you studied abroad in France for 2 years during college? And so now you can speak French too. That's amazing! They also said that you entered graduate school. And after completing your master's in business, went on to be a project manager at a pretty big company. Also, that at your previous company, you were so popular with all the female employees that you could barely get along with all the men. You told me all about it.
That was all stuff that I talked about in my interview. So, are you really the CEO there?
That's what I've been saying this whole time. I'm not gonna make up some pointless lie like that. And I'm always happy when someone with a good record joins a company. But there's one thing that I'm a little worried about. Extending a helping hand to help people in need is my motto. And the company also follows that ideal. I'm wondering if someone like you who looks down on the poor and helpless will really be an asset to this company or not. In any case, from tomorrow you have a 3-month trial period. So I'll be keeping an eye on your performance. Then I'll judge what happens from there. Hey, what's up? Are you still there?
Oh yes, I'm still here, sir.
What's up with the formality all of a sudden? Anyway, as I said before, that's what we'll do starting tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow then. Hey Tim, I need to talk to you about something. I've asked some of the other employees about how you're doing at the moment. And what they say isn't so good. Does anything come to mind?
I'm not really sure.
That's a pretty vague answer. This is what I've heard from them. You make a lot of obvious mistakes when preparing documents. You fail to be polite to clients and end up angering them in meetings. Then they also said that you've been copying data onto a personal USB. This is pretty different from what your CV said about you, and what you said in the interview.
That's just all a coincidence. I mean, I only just started, so I'm bound to make some mistakes, right?
You've also been going around boasting that you and I were classmates back in high school. And I went out of my way to hire you as soon as I could. So, you did apply here knowing that I was the CEO, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Apart from that, people said that you can't actually speak French, and a bunch of other things that seemed off. So I had to look into your past a little more closely.
What? What do you mean by that?
Well, I happen to know the CEO of the company you used to work at. So I asked him about how you would work and for him to get the opinion on your former co-workers. And that's where it all came to light. They said you were lying constantly and would always blame your own mistakes on other people. Everyone hated you for it. I also heard that you had a pretty big gambling debt, to the point where even the company got contacted about it. Everything I heard, there was nothing good.
That's all completely made up. Everyone at the last place I worked at were just jealous of my genius and wanted me to fail.
But even what you said in the interview at my company is exactly the same as what you told them at the previous place. That you were a graduate and studied abroad for 2 years. The timeline on that doesn't make any sense. The story about studying abroad was also completely made up. Then, because of your habit of lying, you messed up a lot of relationships with that company's clients. A bunch of them canceled contracts and the company was in the red for a huge amount because of you. And the reason you ended up getting let go is because of your gambling problem. Did you know that lying about your education and work history counts as a crime? It's only a misdemeanor, but a crime nonetheless. Did you think that a company that is lied to like that would just let it slide? I can tell you now that my company isn't going to do that.
Wait, please. That's not what happened. This is all just a misunderstanding. You know, just a mix-up in communication.
Lying isn't unusual for you. I know you from high school. You used to lie about things all the time back then, too. Some of your managers have also been telling you to fix up your appearance and get a new bag and shoes. But you seem to not listen to them at all. You used to always say how rich your family is. Was that a lie too? Looking at how you present yourself now, I can't really believe that was ever the case.
That's not a lie! That at least isn't a lie.
Even now, you keep up the lies, huh? I already know. I spoke to your mother on the phone.
What? Why would you call my mom?
You needed to give over an emergency contact detail when you signed a contract with us, right? Since you put down your parents' number, I figured I'd give them a call. Your mother picked up and we spoke for a while. You were always bragging about how rich your family was back at school. But it turns out you are a completely normal middle-class family. Your mom said no one in your family has ever made enough to be called a high-income earner or upper class or anything of the like. And now it's up to your parents to pay off your gambling debt. They said they're really struggling.
Damn, my mom. Why did you have to go tell you so many unnecessary things?
Anyway, that's not really important. You've only been with us for a few days, but have already had a harmful effect on the company and the other employees too. On top of that, you lied about your education and work history. So with that in mind, and seeing that you're still on the trial period, I've decided to terminate your contract at the end of the 3 months. We won't be giving you a full-time position.
You can't do that! I signed a contract!
That was a contract that you signed, one for a 3-month trial period. Did you not read the contract?
Give me another chance. Come on. Please. I mean, we're friends from school.
In high school, you constantly made fun of me. Despite that, in good faith, I hired you and decided to just see how it went. Isn't that a better chance than you could really ask for? There isn't a second.
Please. I'm still up to my ears in debt. If I don't have a job, I can't pay it back. The debt collectors will probably start coming by the house again, too!
I'm not happy it has to end like this. But your habit of lying will most likely cause damage to my company's reputation with clients. That's what happened at the last place you worked at, after all. Sometimes, in order to minimize risk, it's necessary to make harsh decisions. Sorry, but that's what it means to be a manager.
It's not like I was a liar from the very beginning. I used to just joke about lots of things. I never meant them seriously. But in middle school, I made a joke about my family being really rich and everyone made a big fuss. That made me feel kind of good. And before I knew it, lying was a habit and I did it more and more. I did it to try and get better in this world.
Both my family and yours. They weren't rich, but that's just how it is. There's nothing wrong with that. But to lie and deceive people, that's wrong. And to purposefully go out of your way to hurt people's feelings is even worse.
Look, I'm sorry for what I did and said in school. I recognize that you've become successful. You've become someone really amazing. Remember what you said to me? That you would work hard and have a better life than me? You did it! You showed me!
There's no use now for empty flattery. It's too late for that.
What'd you say? Okay, so you worked hard and became a CEO. So what? You think you can look down on me now? Don't get so cocky.
Now you're just gonna snap back, huh? I guess lying isn't your only bad trait.
Why did this happen? How could this happen? You were poorer than me. How did you end up becoming more successful?
That's because I refused to let my environment and circumstances affect me, and gave it my all without any regrets. And while I was working hard and doing all I could, you just lazed around. That's where the difference is. You said that our paths would never cross again, and that we'd never see each other's faces again. This time, I sincerely hope that that will be the case. When the trial period ended, Tim packed his things and left the office moping. But he didn't stop lying until the very end of his time at my company. He even kept telling some of the other employees that I was jealous of his abilities and was doing everything I could to make him look bad in front of others. Needless to say, there wasn't a single person who believed him. At this point, Tim's lying seems almost pathological. I don't think it's something that can be fixed that easily. As I expected, Tim kept falsifying his education and work experience and continued to look for a job. But as it happens, word spreads fast, and Tim became somewhat infamous in the industry. In the end, there wasn't a single company that was willing to hire him. The debt collectors appeared for him again, and to get away from the debt, he seems to have run far away and disappeared. After that, I don't have the slightest idea about what happened to him. As for my company, it has kept growing and growing. We have also kept up with initiatives to give back to society and help those in need. I was lucky enough to get this opportunity, thanks to my uncle. And I plan to use it to help as many disadvantaged children as I can.